Welcome to Greer's Rod Shop. I'm Trey, and the next task on the Mustang project is to replace the front driver's side frame rail. The front frame rails and shock towers on these Foxes are prone to rusting, and it's a difficult repair task. I think it will probably be one of the biggest challenges to this restoration, and will really test my skills. So let's get started. Come on in. Here is what the rusty frame rail looks like. Water leaked in around the battery tray and has rusted out the inner apron, the frame rail, and the radiator support where the rail attaches. It looks like the bottom of the strut tower may also be rusted out inside that frame rail. I began the repair by measuring and recording everything and every point I thought would be critical. I measured firewall to radiator supports, measured in between the frame rails at several points, and used a level to measure down from the top of the fenders. I also measured the size of all the gaps I could find and how far the bumper bracket is from the radiator support. The frame is held in place by a bunch of spot welds, so I used a wire wheel to remove enough grime and paint to locate them so that I can drill them out. Before beginning the drilling though, I decided to cut away some of the apron and cut the front of the frame rail loose from the radiator support. I carefully marked where I wanted to cut, and I used both my plasma cutter and a cut-off wheel on my grinder to do the job. I left the rest of the inner fender apron in place. It will hold the radiator support while the frame rail is replaced. I bought a Blair spot weld cutter and began to work on drilling out the spot welds. There were a lot of them. I wonder if the folks that assembled the car got paid per spot weld. I used a punch to mark the center of the spot weld, then I carefully drilled through the sheet metal. A little lubricant on the cutter made it work nicely. In some cases, I had to use a hammer and a scraper and a pry bar to pop the sheet metal apart after drilling out the spot weld. Once all the welds were drilled out, I cut and removed the front half of the frame rail. My suspicions were right, the shock tower was rotten inside the frame rail, so I'll have to rebuild the bottom half of it. I cut and pried and removed the remainder of the frame rail from the car. Here's a good look at the radiator support. I'll have to cut out this rust and rebuild it so I can weld the frame rail back. Next, I found some solid metal on the shock tower, marked a line, and cut out what was left of the rusty bottom. I did the same thing on the radiator support, only cutting away what was rusty, leaving as much good metal as I could. The first step to replacing the frame rail was to repair the radiator support. I stopped by my local sheet metal shop and bought some cutoffs of the same thickness metal as the radiator support. I made a template from thin cardboard, sometimes called chipboard, and used this template to cut out my sheet metal. You can find this chipboard at places like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or other types of craft stores. I then used some heat to fold the metal until it matched the profile of the radiator support. After priming the inside of the new piece with Weld Thru primer, I fitted the new sheet metal to the radiator support, and I held it in place with stitch weld magnets from Eastwood. These little magnets are very strong, and they hold the two pieces in alignment for a butt weld. I tacked the new piece in place, then proceeded to weld it all around using little weld dots. This technique keeps the metal from getting too hot and keeps the weld from blowing out since you're welding together thin sheet metal pieces. I took my time and got the new patch welded all the way around. Then I smoothed up the welds and cut the hole for the bumper bracket to pass through. There is one thing I would have done differently in hindsight. I would have cut the radiator support piece in a much simpler shape, even if it meant cutting out a little more good metal. Shaping and fitting the patch would have been a lot quicker if I had done a simple square piece. Next step is to fit the frame rail to the car. In order to slip it into place past the radiator support, I had to cut and fold the side of the saddle where the frame meets the firewall. I measured and clamped and fitted everything up, being very careful to get it exactly in the right spot. The frame rail kit I bought is made by Brad at foxrails.com, and it's very well made. If you go back to the measurement pictures, you can see that the frame rails are not straight, but they have a bend in them toward the front of the car. Brad has a slit cut in the frame rail at just the right spot so that you can get the proper bend in the rail. You'll have to do some test fitting, and you may have to open up the cut a little wider like I did, but this will allow the rail to have the proper bend. Once I had the bend correct, I clamped everything tight and tack welded the rail. I took the rail back out of the car and fully welded and smoothed it. The next thing I did was to bend the frame rail flange down where the K-member bolts through to accept the top plate from the rail kit. I used some heat along the flange and some sheet metal clamps to carefully bend it down. You have to assemble the crushed tubes and weld them into place before welding the plate on though. During my test fitting, I found my crushed tubes were too short. I contacted Brad at foxrails.com and he sent me new ones. Brad was very helpful and also gave me some tips over the phone. Thank you very much, Brad. While waiting for the crushed tubes to arrive, I primed the inside of the frame rail, then the bumper bracket reinforcement and the tow hook reinforcement with the Weld-Thru primer and welded them in place. Once I received the crushed tubes, I double-checked their measurements again. This time they were a hair long, which was great. It allowed me to carefully trim them to exact measurement I needed. I then welded them to the reinforcement plate and welded that reinforcement plate into the frame rail. Using the right side frame rail for a guide, I marked and drilled 1/4-inch diameter holes for the spot welds in similar locations as the factory. Once the holes were cleaned up, I primed the insides and back sides of the assembly. Now it's ready to be installed in the car. I have never done spot welds, or sometimes called plug welds, before, so I watched a few tutorials and used some scraps of the same thickness metal to practice. I used these practice pieces to get my welder dialed in and get my technique right. Once I was satisfied, I put the pieces in my vise and used a hammer and a cold chisel to try to break them apart. This told me which heat settings gave the best penetration for each thickness of sheet metal. Feeling confident in my welds, I clamped the rail into the car and double-checked all my measurements once again.
I have it all fitted, measured, welded for the bend. I think I am ready to tack weld it in place. I've got spot weld holes cut for the welding it to the strut tower where we're going to repair it. I've got it primered for the Weld-Thru primer everywhere it's going to be covered. I've got the tow hook reinforcement welded in. I have the bumper bracket welded in, or the reinforcement welded in. I've got the spot weld holes cut up here. It's level. It's leveled this way. I measured here. It's correct from my earlier measurements. I've got this 2x4 holding the front in place and clamped so that the front will stay in the position relative to the firewall. I've got it clamped back in there. I've got the crushed tubes for the strut tower K-member bolts. I think I have everything. I think it's time to tack weld it in place.
I started by welding a couple locations at the rear on both sides and the outside of the radiator support in the front. I'll weld the inside of the radiator support later when I install the apron. Next, I bent some sheet metal that was the correct thickness to replace the bottom of the strut tower. I carefully tested its fit to the strut tower and the frame rail several times, making sure it fit as close as possible. Once I was satisfied, I hit it with a good coat of Weld-Thru primer. I fitted my primed strut tower patch into place and held it with my stitch weld magnets while I tack welded it in. I used my hammer and a dolly to adjust a couple spots along the way so they would meet up properly, and dot welded them all together. I made a cutting error though on the back of the strut tower, so I used a patch piece to make up the gap. It isn't the prettiest thing, but this isn't going to be a show car, so I can live with it. I smoothed my welds and moved around to the outside and continued welding up the rail. I alternated front and back and took my time to make sure I kept the heat to a minimum to prevent any warping. Once complete, I moved to the inside and welded everything up there. Then I marked and drilled the holes for welding in the frame rail cap later. After that, it was time to fit and install the top plate at the outside of the strut tower where the K-member bolts through. This piece took quite a bit of fitting to match the angles and curves inside the shock tower.
Right here and right here on these things need a little trim because of the corner back in there.
Once fitting was complete, I primed the back side of the top plate along with the front sway bar mount and the rear reinforcement saddle. I welded in the cap, then I prepped the saddle and welded it into place too. I printed out the measurements I took when I started and carefully marked where the sway bar bracket goes. I clamped it up and welded it in place. The frame rail is 90% installed at this point. I'll finish welding the top plate and the radiator support once the fender apron is fitted into place later. Wow, that was a lot of work. Since there wasn't a lot of information out there on this repair, I took my time carefully planning each move and working very slowly. There was lots of careful trimming, test fitting, and patience involved, but I'm satisfied with the progress so far. Next episode, I'll work on finishing the top of the frame rail and replacing the inner fender apron. See you soon.